Hello, and welcome to Alcohol Free Radio. I'm your host, Chris Becker, and I'm excited to have you join us. Whether you are new to the amazing and growing alcohol-free community or someone who is already familiar, we hope you enjoy our program. This is where you can hear from some people making a real difference, whether as brewers and creators of amazing beverages, influencers in the community, retailers, authors, storytellers, and more. You'll be hearing from some amazing people and hopefully learn some new things about the growing world of alcohol-free. We will be using a few segment formats and hosts as we aim to break it down and bring it all together. Our goal is simple: to build awareness about this great community and help make alcohol-free fun, easy, and tasting great. So here we go. Enjoy. Hey, everybody. The episode you are about to hear is with Chris Marshall, founder of Sandsbar Academy. And I'll say one of the first people, like top 5 people, first 5 people I ever met when I knew that this category even existed. So we haven't spoken for a while, so I'm looking forward to catching up and letting you guys listen in, and we'll scuttlebutt on the space and see what Chris has been up to. So I hope you enjoy the episode. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Alcohol Free Radio. I am excited to welcome Chris Marshall to the show. Chris and I have known each other really for 5 or more years, since I first even knew that non-alc and alcohol-free even existed. And Chris, founder of Sandsbar Academy, and definitely an early pioneer in North America and the United States around bringing this category swiftly to where it is today. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he's been up to. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Like I said, I am excited to catch up because we haven't spoken for a while. I think I see you pop up here and there, and know you've been chatting with the team about some things. And just for everybody listening, where are you calling in from?
I am from my home in Austin, Texas, where Sandsbar was born. So in 2017, founded Sandsbar, which was the first non-alcoholic bar in North America. And Texas is home for me.
Awesome. And I know I want to get into kind of what you're doing now and where things have been going and what you've been seeing kind of in your travels. But my memory was definitely kind of born and bred, started out in Austin, but you really brought the model and the Sandsbar bar and then the academy nationwide. So can you talk a bit about that and kind of how that started?
Absolutely. So one thing that I recognized very quickly, and when I say quickly, I mean in 2018, 2019, was that there was an abundance of new entrants into the market on the product side, but on the service side, there was very little movement or innovation. I knew that for this to grow, there really had to be just more than products and more than enthusiasts. There had to be real proprietors that were selling these wonderful beverages in shops and behind bars. And that is what I decided to do, is to kind of take this concept on the road with the Sandsbar National Tour. And I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years, just kind of popping around to different markets, large and small, and just educating people and showing people what's possible, exposing markets who have never had much of an alcohol-free presence, showing them that this is absolutely possible and profitable.
That's amazing. And kind of where have those travels taken you, and where have been some of the markets that you think, everyone, you obviously think of, Dallas, Austin, New York, LA, Miami, whatever, but where have you seen some real uptake that maybe people wouldn't come first to mind?
The Midwest. I mean, the
Nice.
Midwest and the Deep South are 2 places that are untapped markets where and I get it. All the sponsorship dollars go to events in New York, go to events in LA or Chicago. But as I go around the country, it's places like Minneapolis, places like Birmingham, places like, Atlanta and outside of Atlanta, where there's a lot of growth happening, a lot of excitement. And a lot of my students are coming from the Midwest and saying, like, there is nothing like this in Wisconsin. There's nothing like this in Iowa.
Right. Okay. And then when you say students, tell us more about that and what that means and what the program's about and where those students, maybe hear a bit about any of the stories, because I know you've been doing this for a few years. You've got, well over 100 graduates, if not, well above that. So How do you keep in touch with them? And have there been any interesting stories of those paths as you've seeded the community across the country?
I mean, there's a lot of amazing stories. Over 100 graduates from Sandspire Academy. And I started Sandspire Academy, which is just a 10-week course designed to help people start their own bottle shop, bars, or pop-up, model. Sometimes people just want to do like a pop-up, for
Yeah,
events. We created that to help people understand what this industry is and how they fit into it. A lot of people would call me saying, "Hey, Chris, I have this idea. Love to run it by you." And I realized that for people to really be serious about an industry, especially with no bar or restaurant, background or history,
right.
they need to have education, and that's what Sandsbar Academy is. It's this 10-week course that I've designed to help people start their own thing from very little, right? I started Sandsbar with $200. I built low and slow, as they say, over time, built something. And it's been great to have people, not just in the United States, but I've had students in Canada. I've had a student from New Zealand, a couple from the UK, and it's been amazing to watch these students take what they've learned in the academy and develop a sustainable, scalable business that doesn't take off
Right.
immediately, but does
Sure.
really well over time.
And where did have you seen like so bars, other types of pop-ups? Have anybody gone through the academy? Because one of the things that was great to have you on, and you were kind of a innovator in kind of the broader community. A lot of our guests are obviously makers, which is amazing, and the number of brands and the quality of the experiences have multiplied over the last few years. But have there been areas where graduates of yours have taken the community expansion, maybe other business models in ways that you hadn't expected, or you enjoyed getting to see what people did with the experiences that you gave them and the information you gave them and education?
Absolutely. Two graduates come to mind. One is a bottle shop in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles area, Burden of Proof. uh, Obriana created this wonderful shop, and it's become so much more than a shop. It's a small space, but it's got a very vibrant community of enthusiasts who are excited about the latest NA products, and also just meeting up for sampling of the newest spirit or the tasting a wine. That's one, and the other one is After up in Portland, Oregon, and it's amazing how that is a model that started off as a pop up and has grown into a brick and mortar. So it's like watching these different models evolve over time and how gosh, I can think of so many students. Sober Clarity, Claire Valera here in Austin, as as a graduate, and has started her own kind of influencer partnerships with down at Tales at the Cocktail last week. So it's watching these people take what I've given to them and really develop something that is real and true for them.
Love it. And then, as you said, you've been doing this for a few years, really since, I mean, I know there's a lot of folks who've been innovating in the category on the maker side, going back in further. But when you got started, or as you've been doing this for the last few years, where do you see things going now? Are you getting more students who want to keep doing what you've been educating and bringing people through your program through now? Or, what's the future of Sands Bars and Sands Bar Academy?
Yeah, so I think the brick and mortar bar is a really hard sell, right? It's something that takes a lot of community building and it takes a lot of know-how. And I think that what is more realistic is for people to look at the retail model of like being of this really small footprint bespoke shop, in a market that doesn't have a lot of non-alc, and really being the subject matter experts in that market. And so these smaller markets, again, the Birminghams, the you know South Texas, maybe somewhere in you know northern Georgia or northern Florida, even like these are places where there's not a lot of competition, and there's a need for this stuff. So it's like those small markets are great for that kind of pop up bottle shop turning into a retail model. That's like kind of what we're seeing, starting off as a pop up, selling or sampling products, and then what's successful is as you pop up and as you have these experiences, you learn about products, you learn about how to sell products, you learn what the consumer is looking for and what the consumer is um, what they're seeking. And what they're usually seeking is validation for the decision to drink less or no alcohol. That is what you're really doing. And so every opportunity that you have to face customers, that is an opportunity to validate a decision.
Right.
And
Interesting. I like the way you put that.
oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's what the best non-alc brands do, right? Whatever it is, when I go on Better Roads and I'm scrolling through all the options, I'm thinking, what is going to best celebrate my decision to consume, in my case, no alcohol? And there's no shortage of, these these celebration points. Like every time I go in there and I order, and my cart is full of things that I've never tried or things that I love and I'm trying again. Like that is validation for who I decide to be and how I decide to show up in the world. And I think that the biggest takeaway from Sandsbar Academy is that what consumers are looking for is validation for who they are, and the products and that we offer validate that choice to drink less or no alcohol.
I really like, again, how you said that. I mean, I wrote it down, validating decision or validating kind of your choice of who you are. And, you know, even our brand, Better Roads, kind of speaks to that idea of people have different ways that non-alc is part of their life. Whatever road that happens to be on is kind of how we express it. What I've seen with some of our accounts, like on the wholesale side, let's say, is like you said, a non-alc bar kind of in a pure play mode is a tough challenge. It's worked, and there are definitely many out there. I've seen some kind of in a couple areas grow, and I'll throw out a couple examples, but they're just examples because I really want to get your opinion on this. And it kind of starts to touch on where the non-alc category overlaps or plays into the broader beverage kind of verticals. So one is where non-alc, like you said, you become a subject matter expert or an expert in non-alc in your chosen market, and that can really be a point where you can connect kind of retail or off trade with on trade. So one of the things I've been surprised about, kind of more negatively, has been going in, on trade. I would have thought that's a no-brainer. If I'm a restaurant owner and I can turn, we joke, we could say we can help you turn water into wine. So if I can take a free water, which a lot of people are taking at the table, and turn that into a $8 glass of non-alc wine, why wouldn't I do that? And what I found is there's a whole change management process that is much more, which I've seen more in my normal career, but I didn't expect it because I thought the money would just motivate.
Right.
And then but some of the stores have become almost centers of excellence. Like restaurant owners have heard enough from customers. There's more general demand. The beauty of this category is, yes, it's in the big cities, but everybody knows somebody who's drinking less or themselves or drinking not at all. It's nationwide. It doesn't matter if you live in a town of 5 million or 500. So some of the stores have become like centers of excellence where restaurant owners or bar managers can come in and learn because they realize, okay, my customers know more than me about this stuff. And I maybe buy one brand because I have a regular who just demands it. But they need to realize, so that's one. And then the other one is Delta 8, Delta 9 THC, that category. I've seen some businesses integrate that into their space. So what have you seen about that? And also, are there other examples of where people who are interested in being business owners and entrepreneurs in this space can look to kind of connect their business model to other areas?
And I love what you said about that whole subject matter expert. And I think that is the the singular kind of like selling point of getting into this industry, right? Is that you become a niche go-to subject matter expert. Um, because what I have seen, and I'll get to the second part of the
Yeah.
question, but I think that what's really interesting, worth drilling down here, is that when you are really knowledgeable about the things that you are serving and selling,
Hmm.
people come to you for expertise, and we see that there are a lot of my students become kind of consultants and kind of in a way kind of secondary kind of wholesalers, right? And get people excited
Yeah.
about
Right.
these products because they are the ones that know. And so I always use the example of like a cheesemonger. I can get cheese and quality cheese in any grocery store I go to. I can get boar's head. I can get other
True. Yeah.
levels of. I can even get really poor crappy cheese, right? But if I really want to know what I'm tasting, know why I'm tasting it, know what I should be tasting for, I go to a cheesemonger because they have the experience, right? And that
Right.
experience um, is something that I can't get anywhere else. And so I think what we're seeing is that these retail shops are becoming the place where restaurants and bars go to, and that is how we're seeing this kind of like this ecosystem develop. Um,
Yeah.
and the best retailers don't carry the big name products. They carry things that you can't find anywhere else. They the botanicals, the sparkling teas.
Right.
These are things that you don't
And
really
the new, and also new. There's
new.
new things coming in, or they're hard to get. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. There's things that are very hard to source, and I think that is, and again, that's another bit of better roads, right? Things that you're not going to find on the shelves, I can find on better roads. That is the beautiful advantage of that. And then to the part of your question about the Delta Nines and all the other things, I think that is something that is interesting. Of course, everything varies state to state, and you should talk to your
Yes.
talk,
Local.
talk,
Search your local state regulations for
Yes,
details.
because it is interesting how everything evolves state to state. But I do think that is an interesting component of this. I think we're really reaching an inflection point where um, the ability to feel different, by consuming a liquid, is going to be. I don't know. I think we're going to just see a real inflection point because I think that what we're understanding is that not everything that's kind of set up to create a feeling, have an adaptogenic property or all that. I think we're going to really start to drill down into like what is happening, right?
Yeah.
Chemically, right? And I think we're that's why I don't know. I just tend to stay away from those products because I still think that
Sure.
the jury's out on a lot of them.
Yeah, and you're right because I mean, I mentioned those because not to go too deep into it, but the Farm Bill loophole to some extent allowed this to happen. And
Hmm.
like you said, Texas was about to outlaw it, and then it got vetoed, and it's outlawed in California, but it's really because they're promoting cannabis in place of hemp based. In Connecticut, you can buy it anywhere in liquor stores, but it's 3 milligrams instead of 5, and then the producers are scrambling. So every state's got somebody who's trying to make a name for themselves and placing this out, and the federal government could, with a stroke of a pen, wipe the whole industry out.
Right.
So because it is a bit of a loophole, and it's really kind of the far end of the spectrum. You mentioned it, adaptogens, euphorics, whether it's like kin or sentia, GABA, and, a lot of things you might get in new supplements are basically just being dissolved in a liquid and put into a product. And you know, this goes. I always joke that has been true, being from Texas. Like back when the guy used to go into the old west town with his donkey and his trailer and open up the stage with his tonics and potions.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
kind of getting into that world of kind of supplements, and it just happens to be in beverage form. So I hear you. It pulls you to some extent in a different direction. But I also don't blame entrepreneurs or business owners that non-alc is really a step on a broader spectrum, and you got to survive and do what you need to do. And sometimes your customers, we have found, while we don't sell the Delta derivatives on the site, some of our accounts have both non-alc and THC sections. You can imagine like a Total Wine or something like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the customer overlap's quite similar. For non-alc wine, it's usually 35 to 55-year-old women, which is also high customer category in THC beverages, but they've decided to not drink alcohol. So
Yeah, I think you're right. The jury's out, and it's going to be interesting over the next few years to see where all that goes. With that in mind, in terms of seeing where things are going, where are things going for you and Sandsbar? What do you have? What do you have in your plans for the next few years, and what are you seeing out there?
Next few years.
Next few months.
It's like if I can just get to the end of this year.
Yeah.
So just top of mind, we got Sandsbar Academy Awards, the third annual Sandsbar Academy Awards, and that was just we really wanted to find a way to have this night. I mean, there's a lot. That's another emerging categories, all these awards and things. Um,
Yes, there's been a few new ones in the
there's
last few months.
amazingly. But this is the first awards show where you show up in person, and we used to do it in Reno,
I love it.
Nevada, and we're moving to Austin this year, November
Are you going to
8th.
live stream it?
Live stream it this year.
Nice.
So this is the third annual. It's tux, it's gowns, it's
Love it.
pageantry, it's real awards, physical awards we can hold up,
Yeah.
and it's
It's not just a
exciting.
badge I can put on my website.
Yeah, and you can put the badge on your website, but it's
Yeah,
also
but
nice
I
to
can put
have.
something on the shelf.
Yes, I have a physical award. So yeah, that's coming up.
Nice.
Sandsbar Academy is going to continue to be the education hub and really think about how we are creating culture around non-alc. Because I feel like the products will always be there. There will never be a shortage of products, whether straight up non-alc, analogs,
Yeah,
analogs, botanicals.
there's just as many coming. Because we obviously see a lot, and the variations and the categories can change. Less beer, less new non-alc beers. Lots more new non-alc wines and ready-to-drink mocktails. Less new full-format spirit alternatives. But the total volume of net new entrants has not slowed. So I think you're right.
So I think that we're going to continue to see that again upward trajectory of product. What worries me and has always worried me is the culture part of it. And you look at beyond meat alternative category. I'll just lump it all together.
The cautionary tale.
It is a very cautionary tale because what happened to the plant based market? It ballooned, right? These huge, crazy valuations for companies that had very little, if any, profit, and it collapsed very quickly because of the lack of connection to culture. And
Interesting. Yeah.
you look at it. There's many of the same problems, right? High price point, chemicals that we don't always know what's in the product.
Yeah.
Very, and in some cases, very little, benefits. Better for you, meat, plant-based products and meat products. There's very little, better for you benefit with the plant-based. So we're really following in the worst way that plant-based industry. And I think what will make it different and what I'm really trying to do is put the brakes on a bit and create culture, create an awards, create a think tank, create consumer advocacy, create all these things that will create an institution like spirits, like liquor, and has existed
Yeah.
for so long because there's a whole entire culture and ecosystem surrounding the actual liquid. So it's not just an expansion of because there's no shortage of alcohol products. But what remains the same is the relationship that we have to it in society, the way that we think about it as an institution. And I think that that's what I'm working to do with Sandsbar is to take the Sandsbar brand and make it the institution, and make it an institution, and make it the thing that gives this movement foundation.
Yeah. That's amazing, and I like because for me that ties to what you said earlier about validating a decision. It's a culture, but all culture is really down to exist based on a community of individuals, and those individuals have chosen to express themselves through how they drink and what they drink. So it really the way you're saying it kind of for me really connects everything together, and definitely is needed so that we don't have that danger of going down a dead end. And so it ties to people's lives and people's priorities and people's personalities and the decisions that they make. So that's great.
Yep, I think the only way that you prevent this from being a fad is that you make it part of the function of someone's life. That you make this an important part of someone's identity, and that you do that very early on. Alcohol is very good at creating products that are appealing to the younger generation, and non-alc should be doing the same. We should really be working on creating culture in college, getting young adults interested in the non-alc movement, and getting them excited about the products, and making them lifelong consumers of these incredible products.
Nice. Well, first of all, it's great to reconnect. Great to see that you're continuing the journey and bringing it more into the culture and really figuring out how we can make this more of an ongoing institution. Would love to keep connecting and see how we can work together to help make that happen. How can people stay in touch and learn more if they want to follow up and make sure they're following your journey?
Yeah, so Sandsbar is on Instagram at sans_bar. That's where you usually find most of my updates and what we're up to kind of as we're doing it. But the website, thesandsbar.com, has the links to the Academy Awards November 8th, has tickets to my tour that's happening currently. I'm going on a North American tour. I'll be in Mexico City, Toronto, and a couple of other cities this year. And then I've just wrote a book, Faster Than Light. It's a memoir. It's also on the website. It's thesandsbar.com. So that's the way you can keep up with me. Always up for a DM on Instagram. Call me if you
Nice.
need it. I'm an open book.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad to hear about the tour. Congratulations, and great to see you are continuing to expand the industry as a whole and the community. It's great to catch up, and thanks for the time.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Alcohol Free Radio. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a message on social media or through email at hello@betterroads.com. Great to be here with you all together. Take care.